Hi guys, it's me again. Pre-recorded. My sleep is obviously more important than teaching you live, but I hope you're coping with it. And it's live as of this evening. So I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well this end. I've just good news and bad news. The bad news is London experienced just a horrific terror attack, which was just awful this morning, and we pray for London, pray for the Muslim mayor of London to renounce violence in Islam, pray for an awakening among the church to reach and forgive Muslims, and for Muslims all across England to be disheartened by what they've seen in this kind of bloodshed. Good news is this week I taught at YWAM for 2 days. There's a place 2 hours north of Auckland, and about 35 students. And oh my goodness, I just had such a good time. Just such a good time. They were just so passionate, so hungry for Jesus. Kind of, the age group was a lot younger, 17-year-olds, 18, 19, that kind of age. And I still feel like a teenager, but I'm realizing, like, they view me like their granddad, not even their dad, some of them. But we preached fairly heavily on apologetics and biblical worldview. And so I did a whole day on can you be gay and Christian, and then a whole day on radical Islam versus radical Christianity. And I'm telling you, there wasn't a dry eye in the meetings. It was packed. They were so hungry. There was no resistance to the messages. They were just passionate for Jesus. And I just want to, I say it just to encourage you both that the sorts of things we're seeing in these last 18 months we've not seen in 50, 60, 70 years in the West. There is an openness in this generation, especially teenagers. There is a passion for truth. There's an aversion almost to the political correctness and nonsense that's going on at the moment. And I just thank God for it. I really do. So, oh well, I'll give you a minute to find slide number 85, and actually 86. And we're going to talk today about the day of the Lord. So this in Hebrew is Yom Yahweh, or Yav, which means day of the Lord. And it's a concept, so the basic teaching today is that the Old Testament teaches that there is going to be the day of Yahweh, and the New Testament teaches there's going to be the day of Moshiach, or Messiah. And it transitions from day of Yahweh to a little yawn in the middle to day of Messiah. And that's the basic teaching. Why would we teach this on eschatology? Because the Old Testament and the New point to this one day, the day when God sets the record straight. It's not so much Judgment Day, although it is judgment, but it's the day of God's visitation. Fire and brimstone preachers, or old-fashioned preachers, or people who don't really know the Bible very well, they talk about the day of judgment and things like that. And it will be a day of judgment. It will be a day of reckoning. But it's a glorious day as well. So it's not just sort of bad news, bad news, bad news. It's actually good news, because it's the day we see God. And it's the day Jesus rises, comes on the clouds and returns to the earth. So the day of the Lord in the Old Testament is the day of the Messiah in the New Testament. Okay, so that's the teaching, and we'll just take a break there, and I'll probably have a video for you to watch. I'll post a video as well, and we'll come back in a moment.